Hello, my name is Todd Nonnenberg and I am here to review the Pioneer Blu-ray disc drive. A few things about my setup. I have a custom-built home theater PC. It's based on the 939 chipset. It's driven by an AMD Opteron 180 CPU processor. Works out to about 2.6 gigahertz. It has 2 gigs of RAM. It has a Creative Sound card which projects DTS audio to a Logitech Z5500 receiver, and it has a GTS 8800 NVIDIA video card which projects to a Samsung 40-inch monitor. It's an LCD, so as you can imagine, it's a pretty good... What the... Come on. Come on! Jesus. Okay, now for the good. The good is the disc drive promises to play Blu-rays, and guess what? It plays Blu-rays. It's been about 2 to 3 weeks for me, and I haven't experienced any problems whatsoever. Well, with caveats, but I think those caveats, and we'll get to that in the bad, are more directly related to the format and not per se the drive itself. So it plays Blu-rays. It does not burn Blu-rays, of course, but it is a very good burner if you are looking for something to burn CDs and DVDs. Comparatively, I have 2 other drives, one of which is a burner, and it is probably 2 to 4 times faster as a burner than that other drive. So it's an excellent burner, and it plays Blu-rays. So that's the good. Okay, now for the bad. The bad is really broken up into 3 points, and I don't think these are too bad, but they're points worth mentioning. To me, they're quirks. I enjoy troubleshooting and finding solutions to problems. So, but you know, everyone is different. But they are points to be aware of. So it's really 3 points. Number 1 is the connection from the PC to the monitor. Number 2 is the software version that you use. And number 3 is SATA. Number 1, the connection that you use from the PC to your monitor. You can use a VGA connection. However, and you may not notice the difference. It's all dependent upon your setup. However, in my setup, I had an HD DVD drive that I was using, and the colors were brilliant on it through a VGA connection to the monitor. However, when I hooked up this Blu-ray player, the colors it was really dreary and almost gray. The colors were completely washed. It wasn't true HD. I had a suspicion. I just couldn't believe that it was a difference, that much of a difference in the formats. I thought it was my connection, which I put in an HDMI connection from my PC to my monitor, and voila, the colors came through. They're brilliant. I don't know if you can make out some of them on the screen. I know it's a little hard with the camera that I use, but it's just as good as the HD DVDs. So that was the issue right there. And that being said, anyone who has is familiar with the challenges that are faced by using an HDMI connection from a PC to a monitor knows what I'm talking about, and it has to do with overscan, which means that you will lose 5 to 10% of your picture, meaning that you could have your mouse or objects on your toolbar go off the screen, and it makes it very difficult to navigate. However, there are 2 tools which you can download which can help you to navigate this issue. Number 1 is a nifty tool called PowerStrip. It is freeware. However, they do have a pop-up that if you make a donation, and I'm going to make a donation. I think everyone should. It's a great tool. But if you download PowerStrip, what you can do is you can toggle from the native resolution, which is the 1080p, which you're going to want to use for playback of films, to a little bit lower resolution. I use 1600 by 900. It's a custom resolution available for my computer use. And the way you get that custom resolution is you need an NVIDIA video card. Hopefully you have one. If you do, what you can do is you can download a version of the driver for it called, it's version 9694, and that will have the custom resolution in it. So that's con number one. Con number two is the software version. I've seen some reviews of people saying, you know, this thing doesn't work. I put the disc in and I get this message that I need firmware update, which the second disc I put in, which was the Silver Surfer, I got the same message. There is no firmware out there, regardless of what you read from other reviews. What is in the package on this drive is the up-to-date firmware. The issue that you're encountering if you get that message is a format released by the makers of Blu-ray discs called BD+. And basically what that is, it's a protection, and what it's supposed to do is you're getting, the message should read that you need to update your software to the most current version. So if you go to your website, your provider like Power DVD, Cyberlink, download the most current version, and you will be able to play back those discs on this drive. I don't understand it. There's certain versions which do play and some that don't. You can Google to find out which ones do and don't. The easiest way again is just to go to the provider, to Cyberlink, and download the most current version. Now that being said, you're saying why don't you use Nero 8? And I did. And it's really the lesser of two evils. They both have their issues. Nero 8, I had two issues. Number one, on the Transformers, of course there's a lot of CGI in that movie, and I love it, but the Nero 8 choked on the video. It stuttered, so you know, that was, not to mention the fact that some of the audio tracks, it switched the center channel and the left front channel, so you actually had dialogue coming out of my left front channel for like Talladega Nights and a couple other movies. But that being said, Nero is, Power DVD is no saint. It does downsample certain soundtracks like Talladega Nights, like Spider-Man, Black Hawk Down, the Eagles, Eagles in Concert, that is. But for the most part, it's a very robust software solution. That being said, the last but not least con of the drive is SATA. Now, I'm trying to figure out if this technology, you know, if I'm just being an old grump, you know, and I like ATA too much, or, you know, the way it used to be, rah, 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 or if this is technology is just like the, you know, the Windows Vista that, you know, they keep saying is like the next best thing in data transfer, and, but I don't see it. Maybe it makes the products cheaper, which is a great thing, but right now I'm not a big fan of it. That being said, I'd be a bigger fan of it if it came with a cord. You know, I don't know who negotiated that between consumers and hardware providers, but you know, you're gonna give me hardware, man, you got to give me a cord. It's just the right thing to do.